Her husband didn't want that? A 12 or 13-year-old survivor of incest being forced to carry a pregnancy to term? They don't want that. And I pledge to you, when Congress passes a bill to put back in place the protections of Roe v. Wade, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. But understand, if Donald Trump were to be reelected, he will sign a national abortion ban. Understand, in his Project 2025, there would be a national abortion, a monitor that would be monitoring your pregnancies, your miscarriages. I think the American people believe that certain freedoms, in particular the freedom to make decisions about one's own body, should not be made by the government.
Thank you, Vice
Oh,
President
she hit him with a
Harris.
good fat
She
chick
goes
too.
again, it's a lie. I'm not signing a
Mm.
ban, and there's no reason to sign a ban because we've gotten what everybody wanted. Democrats, Republicans, and everybody else, and every legal scholar wanted it to be brought back into the states, and the states are voting. And it may take a little time, but for 52 years, this issue has torn our country apart, and they've wanted it back in the states. And I did something that nobody thought was possible. The states are now voting. What she says is an absolute lie. And as far as the abortion ban, no, I'm not in favor of abortion ban, but it doesn't matter because this issue has now been taken over.
But
by
it
the
doesn't
states.
matter.
Veto a national
That's the
abortion ban.
topic,
Well,
Donald.
you don't have to because again, it took
That's the
Number one, she
topic.
said she'll go back to Congress. She'll never get the vote. It's impossible for her to get the vote, especially now with the 50-50 and essentially 50-50 in both Senate and the House. She's not going to get the vote. She can't get the vote. She won't even come close to it. So it's just talk. You know what it reminds me of when they said they're going to get student loans terminated, and it ended
Here we
up
go,
being a
switching the
total catastrophe.
topic.
The
Switching
student
the
loans, and then
topic.
her, I think probably her boss, if you call him a boss, he spends all his time on the beach. But look,
Oh,
her boss went out and said, "We'll do it again. We'll do it a different
at least
way."
it's not the
Went out,
golf
got
course.
rejected again by the Supreme Court. So all these students got taunted with this whole thing about this whole idea, and how unfair that would have been. Part of the reason they lost to the millions and millions of people that had to pay off their student loans. They didn't get it for free, but they were saying it's the same way that they talked about that they talk about abortion.
But if I could just get a yes or no, because your running mate, JD Vance, has said that you
Can she
would
get a
vote
yes
to
or
take
no?
it to your desk.
Well, I didn't discuss it with JD. In all fairness, JD, and I don't mind if he has.
Oh, so your
policy
VP don't know your
opinions
strategy?
against me, but I really didn't.
Your
Look,
VP don't know your policies?
we don't
Your
have to discuss it
nothing?
because she'd never be able to get it. Just like she couldn't get student loans, they couldn't get student loans. They didn't even come close to getting student loans. They taunted young people and a lot of other people that had loans. They can never get this approved. So it doesn't matter what she says about going to Congress. So wonderful. Let's go to Congress, do it. But the fact is that for years they wanted to get it out of Congress and out of the federal government. And we did something that everybody said couldn't be done. And now you have a vote of the people on abortion.
Vice President Harris, I want to give you your time to respond, but I do want to ask, would you support any restrictions on a woman's right to an abortion?
I absolutely support reinstating the protections of Roe v. Wade. And as you rightly mentioned, nowhere in America is a woman carrying a pregnancy to term and in asking for an abortion. That is not happening. It's insulting to the women of America.
Thank you.
And understand what
I'm
has been
pretty
happening under Donald Trump's
I'm pretty sure it is.
couples who pray and dream of having a family are being denied IVF treatments. What is happening in our country? Working people, working women who are working one or two jobs, who can barely afford childcare as it is, have to travel to another state to get on a plane sitting next to strangers to go and get the health care she needs. Barely can afford to do it, and what you are putting her through is unconscionable. And the people of America have not, the majority of Americans believe in a woman's right to make decisions about her own body. And that is why in every state where this issue has been on the ballot in red and blue states both, the people of America have voted for freedom.
Vice President Harris,
Excuse me, I
thank
have to
you.
respond.
Oh, yeah, we
Another
know.
lie. It's another lie. I have been a leader on IVF, which is fertilization. The IVF, I have been a leader.
A
In
leader?
fact, when they got a very negative decision.
You should
on
ask him what
IVF from the
IVF stand
Alabama
for.
court,